Well, hi guys, and welcome to a new episode. This is a rather special episode because we are doing another Q&A. This time about all the questions that we got about the failed barrier coat that we did in 2020 and 2021.
Yeah.
And if you haven't watched the last episode, episode 109, I really think you should do that first, because then I think this will make a lot more sense.
Yeah, as Emmy said, we've got a lot of questions both on like Instagram and on YouTube. So to like wrap that up, we gather all your questions and try to explain some of them, hopefully.
So let's go.
So we will start with the most frequent asked question is how the condition is today. The condition of our epoxy treatment and our new copper coat treatment this second time is really, really good. We are really satisfied with the result. We have no blisters, no flakes coming off. It's super solid and no growth. So it's been held up really well during our circumnavigation around the Atlantic. Around 16,000 nautical miles and yeah, more or less 4 years. And we have not done anything actually. We have some blisters on the keel. I can show you. Since we didn't redo the bottom part of the keel when we redid it the second time. Because when we redid the epoxy treatment and the copper coat on the hull, we didn't see any blisters on the bottom part of the keel, so we just skip that part and don't hassle with a crane and stuff to fix underneath, so we just left that one. That's why you can see two different colors here. Although the keel has some blisters now, so we have to redo it, but since it's a lead keel, it doesn't really matter. If you're not like a super racing sailor or something. So yeah, it cannot like sucking water, or it's no problem for like the hull or something. It's just lead. So apart from like cleaning her off a bit, the only thing we have to redo before we get into the water next time is to like repaint the front end of Linnea. The water has really polished away some of the layers of copper coat, so you can see the epoxy treatment like coming through in some spaces. And we also have been in contact with a lot of mooring buoys. Linnea just tend to sail over them from time to time. So we have a lot of scratches in the front of Linnea, so we just have to redo some of the painting in the front.
So jumping to the next question, that is, what is the biggest lesson that we learned from all of this, having to redo this and spending 2 summers on land?
Too much time.
Too much time.
For sure.
I would say the biggest lesson is it's a one that we got from when we were in contact with all these companies about the issue, was that one of the, not like reasons, but like blames that they put on why this has happened was because we hadn't reached out to West System to discuss our project, which was news to us then that you could even do.
Yeah, especially since West System have this like super good manual with all instructions, and it's a heavy manual, so you can more or less read everything, and we thought we could read everything in it. So yeah, it was more or less no idea taking contact with them, we thought.
We had also watched a lot of YouTube videos with other boats doing this. So
but in hindsight we should have contacted them.
Yeah, we felt confident that we had the information, but they said that if we had reached out to them, they would have told us that the project wouldn't have been successful, and they never told us why. So yeah, but that is one of the really big lessons, that if we do a big project like this again with like this much money and this much time, then we reach out to the companies, the manufacturer, or whomever we can get in contact with, and make sure that we get everything
in writing. Yeah.
Yes, so that if something goes wrong, then you have it in print that you have been recommended by themselves to do it like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And document as much as you can. Take pictures, videos, and then you have some proof when you contact the companies when you get in problem.
Yes, writing down batch numbers.
Yeah, everything.
And so on.
Hopefully you will not get in this problem.
No.
As we did.
Hopefully you will never need that information, but and yeah, maybe it wouldn't have made a difference if we had the information, but at least then they couldn't have told us that this is what we should have done.
Yeah, we will never know.
The hardest question to answer, but maybe also the most interesting one, is how come they never found a cause to why this happened to us. And again, I would like to point out that it was concluded that it was nothing wrong with the copper coat, and that the problem was somewhere between the surface and the wet system epoxy. For some reason, the epoxy didn't stick to the hull, and they were never able to find out why. And to be fair to West System, the ones manufacturing their epoxy, it's a company called Guardian Brothers, and it's their tech team and their CEO that we had the most contact with, both in emails and in phone calls. And even today, I'm not entirely convinced that they really didn't know why this happened. But to that, I guess we will never have an answer. We will never know if that's the case or not, but that's just my gut feeling. Even today, as I have read through the emails to go over what was actually said, I still think there's a few things that doesn't really sit well with what they say and what actually happened. But looking back, seeing how she looks today, it's hard to believe that we spent 5 weeks discussing back and forth why this had happened. And in the end, they put the blame on us, blaming some underlying issues, problems with the surface preparation or contamination. The problem was that since we were 2 boats, everything they said we could respond with, but how can you explain that happened to 2 boats? And we never got any answers to those questions. So how there would be a contamination on both those hulls that would result in the exact same blister issue, that's for me a mystery, but that's what happened, and that's where we ended the discussions. If it would have been just us and they would have told us that we had a contamination, I think we would have bought that straight up. Getting a contamination on a project like this big, it could easily happen from rugs or something in the anything that we used to clean the hull before. But as I said, for that to happen in 2 boats, it's not very plausible. But that's what they blamed, and we asked if they could consider putting us both in a yard, both boats, for the coming winter, so that they could take all the tests they needed to find the cause, and then we could have plenty of time to redo this work. But they didn't feel like this was their fault, or they were at fault and to blame for this, so they didn't want to pay for it. And that meant that after 5 weeks, we started to run out of time, and we could no longer just wait for them to come any further in the process. Because for us, it felt mostly like just sending the same emails back and forth. Us asking, how could that happen in both boats? And they saying it's some kind of contamination. And in the end, we decided to just redo it ourselves in the time we had left that summer, and it turned out really good. So I guess that was a good choice, and maybe we could have found out what happened if we would have given them the entire summer to do it, but then we would have had so much other problems, both with we didn't have this cradle for Linnea back then, so we had lent supports from our boat neighbor, and well, by the end of the summer they're taking their boat up and then they need their supports back. So then we needed to get back in the water before that. So yeah, time was running up, and I think they knew that and took advantage of that. But yeah, that's just how it felt to us. But I think that brings us into the last question, if we were ever compensated.
To answer that question, we had to get up in the cockpit of Linnea because it's so windy right now. But yes, to answer that question, it's both yes and no. The Gorgian brothers would compensate with new material to recoat Linnea with the whole barrier coat system. But then we had to refrain to comment or do any post or mention their name or our complaints about the problem we have had. And this was nothing we really wanted to do, because since they couldn't mention why this had happened, or they didn't know why, then we were not sure if this will work the next time. So we don't want to do this a third time. so we just know it's not worth trying this again, even with their help with new stuff and new material. So we just did a coating with epoxy from another brand. We also got some help from Copper Coat that saw our posts, and when we contacted them, they felt so sorry about our problem, so they gave us a big and very welcoming discount on new products from Copper Coat, even though it wasn't their fault. So guys, I hope this video gave you some of the answers of the questions you have about our epoxy treatment and Copper Coat treatment that we have had some problems with.
Yeah, and how it turned out.
And how it turned out, and how happy we are with it now. If you have more questions, just please leave them below in the comments, and we will try to answer them as good as we can.
Yeah. And if you're doing a similar project to this, we are by no means any experts on either epoxy or a Copper Coat. But if you want some tips or tricks, just reach out and we'll do our best. And remember that it is a really good idea to reach out to the company as well of the project you're choosing.
Yes.
And here we are, sitting on one of the projects that we have actually started for this season.
Yeah, and we're inside under the winter cover that we will continue have on Linnea for the summer. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have some big projects on Linnea that you maybe know. One of them is the one we're sitting at, the teak deck. I have started the big job. It's a big job, it's a massive job actually, of redoing the caulking. Yeah, it's a massive job. It takes a lot of time, more time than I could even imagine actually. Yes. But it will turn out so nice when we're finished, I think. The caulking is about 20 years old, and the heat and the UV in the tropics has really worn it down. So it's like this gooey and blackish, and you get it everywhere. So it's sticky, and it starts to get loose from the teak. So it's really time to redo it, and I hope and I think it will be a really nice like upgrade or
Yes.
so to speak on Linnea, it will look so good, I think.
This is the first time I see the work that Marcus has already done, especially here on the cover for, or the hatch for
The anchor locker.
The anchor locker, and it looks so good.
It's no caulking in it yet, but I've like cleaned all.
It looks very clean.
Yeah, I've taken all the caulking away and clean up everything. So next step for that one is some grinding and sanding, and then some new caulking.
So that is what we're doing right now. We will continue with this over the summer and get Linnea prepared for next season instead. I think that's the most reasonable thing to do.
Yeah.
Just take it easy and do this one step at a time. And we are continue to filming the process. Hopefully we can get some tips and tricks to share along the way. And since the last episode, we have a new way to support us that we hope is a bit easier for you guys if you want to be part of our online virtual crew. We have moved all our membership benefits to YouTube. So now you can become a channel member right here on YouTube, which means that it's literally no extra work for you. And if you like our videos and help keeping us to make them, then please consider becoming a member. It will really help us out a lot with the filming and editing.
Yeah, you're really more than welcome on board our virtual crew.
Yes. But with that, thank you a lot for watching. That also means a lot, and it helps encourage us to make these videos. Keep leaving comments to show us what you think of the videos we make.
And give us thumbs ups and follow our channel, and see you next time, guys.
Yes. Fair winds.
Fair winds. Bye.